Why is India so dirty, and why do you guys smell like curry? Trust me, I've been asked this question more times than I've been asked my real name or my age. For the record, it's 122 years old. Hi, I'm Valf, a voice actor and an editor. Want me on your project? Email me and say you love me. So, the big question, why is India so dirty? Well, it has to do with the people and what's expected of them. Now, let's be fair, some parts of India are relatively clean and people do follow the rules, but unfortunately, in most cases, that is not the reality. If you go further north, you'll see cleaner streets because they have better waste management system in place. But it varies a lot from city to city. Some cities generate more waste than others. So it's hard to paint a generic picture of what it's really like. That said, we can't deny that India doesn't have the best reputation when it comes to cleanliness. Images like this pop up all the time and they stick in people's minds. Now, I'm not saying India is the only dirty country in the entire world. There are other countries out there that, dump waste into the ocean. I mean, there's literally a floating island of trash out there. Yes, I'm looking at you, America. Collect your shit.
How dare you?
Every country has its waste problems to deal with, but India's struggles are more visible. And that's why people often call it out. Sometimes in a really horrible and racist ways. It's sad, but we can't change that overnight now, can we? So how did it get to this point? I mean, when you go to Paris and look at the Eiffel Tower and turn around, you might see a heap of trash too. But that doesn't get amplified as much, does it? Thanks to influencers who only highlight the bad parts of India for clicks and views, it's become a widespread narrative. Some might argue that people do this because they don't like brown people. They don't like how we sound, smell, or look. And yes, sometimes it's just blatant racism. But here's the thing, India is really dirty. And a lot of it comes down to the fact that, well, no one seems to care enough to fix it. Well, not no one, but majority of the people, I would say. Let's break it down. Attitude towards cleaning. We keep our houses spotless, but when it comes to public spaces, like roads, facilities, you name it, we don't pay much attention. It's how we're raised. We're conditioned to neglect these things. And that mindset carries into adulthood. Over 4% of the population lives below poverty line. Considering India's population, that number is huge. Meeting basic needs like food and shelter takes priority. Proper waste disposal, not so much. Survival comes first. India is home to over a billion people, making it the second most populous country in the whole world. This leads to inadequate infrastructure and a desperate need for living spaces. Slums pop up, and those who can't afford better often end up living in and around waste. As humans, we tend to justify actions if we see a lot of people doing them, even if they're wrong. If you see someone littering and no one stops them, you start to think, it's okay. After all, if no one's retaliating, why not? Am I right? Corruption is everywhere. Taxpayers' money often ends up in the pockets of petty politicians instead of being used for infrastructure. We're lacking specialized services like garbage collection, recycling, and waste incineration because the money isn't flowing in the right direction. Now, I get it. Some Indians get really mad when this topic comes up. It's like, I know we're wounded, just stop rubbing salt on it. And I understand that it's not the proud moment when the world calls you out for something you deal with every single day. There is hatred and racism, and it's not fair. But we can't just chalk it all up to them being racist or hating us. Instead, we should focus our energy on making real and positive changes. It all starts with the mindset. The new generation is growing up and learning. Wait, I need to burp. Okay, I burped. If we don't change our thought process and adapt, we're gonna fall behind. The problem can be solved if we take action. For example, let's say you eat something and you don't know what to do with the wrapper. Look for a trash can, and if you can't find one, just put it in your pocket and throw it away later. Well, it's not that simple because you don't know where most of your trash is going. We're lacking proper systems. Indians are really sensitive, and we do get mad when we're called out. And hey, it's human nature, but sometimes we're also really irresponsible with our resources. Instead of debating silly things that don't deserve attention, we should focus on real issues, don't you think? Imagine if all the news channels started covering actual problems instead of spewing hate speech and obsessing over controversies. But no, would rather target someone who's already down because it's easy and it doesn't require that much effort. We will go on strikes and protest over jokes we do not like, and hey, we should have the freedom to do that. But let's not take it too far. Instead of getting riled up over small things, what if we pressure the government to installing systems that keep our streets clean? And also reduce air pollution and plant more trees. But no, yes, India is changing, but the pace is real slow. It might take a while for us to catch up to where others already are. What can I say? We're always in rush, but we never seem to make it on time. It's time for Creepy Candy. Did you come up with that name? That's actually pretty cool. I did. You're welcome. Where's my Creepy Candy? You'll get it once you're done filming. Not bad. Fine. So, in this Creepy Candy segment, we have the Tale of Kubera and the garbage dump. Kubera is a Hindu deity worshipped by the people of Hindu faith. You see, he's known as the guardian of treasures and a symbol of abundance and prosperity. According to the legend, Kubera once visited a prosperous town to bless its people. But when he arrived, he was shocked. The streets were filled with heaps and piles of garbage scattered everywhere. Waste was piled in every corner and a terrible smell filled the air. He was disgusted by the lack of care for their surroundings. So he decided to teach the villagers a lesson they would never forget. First, he wanted to test the people, to give them a fair chance, you know? He shapeshifted into a beggar and walked through the village asking people for food and shelter. But despite the villagers' wealth, no one was kind enough to help him. Kubera was deeply disappointed. He cursed the village, saying your wealth will vanish and your prosperity will turn into ruin until you learn to respect your surroundings and take responsibility for your actions. The villagers were like, who are you? Soon their crops failed, disease spread, and their thriving community fell into disrepair. Realizing their mistake, the villagers started cleaning up their village. Seeing their efforts, Kubera forgave them and lifted the curse. Darky, give me my candy. Now, I'm not sure about curses, but you know what you can lift? Your finger. Tap on this video right here. Believe it or not, YouTube really knows what kind of videos you're into. So, it's YouTube recommending you this video. I don't even know what video this is.